So I've been thinking about Donald Trump and his administration diversity, equity, and inclusion policy. And unsurprisingly, I don't think that he thought this through at all. Because it doesn't really make any sense, and it doesn't really work in his favor. Let me explain. People with disabilities, and yes, I realize that people with disabilities are a group that Donald Trump does not care about whatsoever, but people with disabilities are the fastest growing minority, and the only demographic that intersects with every other demographic. In fact, as of 2021, there were 42.5 million Americans living with some type of disability. And so, for some of those Americans with disability, and people with disabilities in general, they need extra support to help them find employment. Because, unfortunately, we face a lot of barriers when we try to get employment. So that's why something like diversity, equity, and inclusion is really important. It helps to ensure that we have accommodation and accessibility and all of those things. So it's really beneficial to our community. But here's the other thing about disability. Disability can happen to anybody at any time in their life. Now, the example that I want to give for this, I don't in any way condone wishing injury to anybody, so I'm going to make up an example instead of, using the federal government as my example. But let's say that I have a company. Okay? I have a company, and I decide that I don't want DE&I. Okay? I'm a person without a disability, and I have a company, and I don't want diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I ensure that I don't have any of that. I don't have any accessibility, I don't have any accommodation. I'm a complete asshole, for the purpose of the story. And then I go, and I get hit by a car. I'm hit by a car, and I end up having a traumatic brain injury. And because of that traumatic brain injury, I need support. I need help. But because of my own policy at my own business, I can't get that support. I'm not allowed that support. So, does that then mean that I have to change the policy? Or give up my business? But let's replace business owner with President of the United States. What would happen in that scenario? Would Trump just change his mind and say, oh, oops, I didn't think of that? Like, honestly, what would happen? Like, it doesn't work in his favor in the end. So anyway, that's just a thought that I had. Again, I'm not wishing ill will, other than, being locked up in a prison cell. I'm not wishing ill will. I don't believe in that, and I don't want to be seen as inciting anything. That's not who I am. So, yeah, just my thought, and I'd love to know what you think in the comments.